live with you, just take care of the grandkids' showers and meals.
After a long time, my son's wife brought the grandkids over, but her words were selfish. She hadn't changed since the day she took $100,000 from the family home and ran away. I couldn't let her forget that day.
Oh, say, Cinder Clobson, that there's no home here anymore. I stated plainly.
Little did she know, this was a declaration of war. My name is Layla. I'm a 70-year-old housewife, but I live alone in a big house because I lost my husband to illness 10 years ago. He was only 60, and we were supposed to spend decades more together. I was unable to come to terms with it for a long time. But living in a house without him, the realization of being alone gradually set in. I stopped enjoying gardening and walks, activities we used to do together, and meals for two became meals for one. My days are routine. Waking up, eating, doing housework, then sleeping. It might sound orderly, but it's just repetitive. Despite everything, I have one reason to keep going. It's my grandchildren. Lizzie, my niece, is in 9th grade, and her brother Ariel is in 5th. My son, Anthony, married at 28 and had been with his first wife, who died in an accident 2 years after Ariel's birth. As a single father, he's raised them with my help. Losing his wife young, juggling work, housework, and parenting, he's had it tough. I did everything to support my son and dearly loved my grandkids. I stepped in for school events, did daycare pickups, and had meals together when he worked late. I couldn't be their mom, but I gave all the love I could. They eased the pain and loneliness of losing my husband. Their laughter filled the house. I hoped for this peaceful life to continue, but a year ago, my son remarried.
I travel a lot for work. While they're in their teens, a sensitive time. I thought they needed a mom.
I understand your decision and I respect it, but...
And Mom, you're getting on in years too. You can't take care of them forever, right?
I was worried about my grandchildren, but surprisingly, they seemed okay with it, saying if Dad's happy. So, I didn't oppose my son's remarriage. My son's new wife, Betty, works as an executive secretary for a top corporate executive. She wears bold makeup, which gives her a flashy appearance, but she's undeniably beautiful. Though her style was quite opposite to my late daughter-in-law's, her manners and speech at family meetings hinted at a blend of beauty and brains. I met through business dealings, as her company was a client of my son's. Their relationship blossomed from several business dinners. Since the remarriage, the grandkids stopped coming to my house. It was lonely, but I was happy if they were enjoying family life. Then, one Sunday, Jody showed up with the kids. Layla, I'm sorry to bother you. Surprised by her different demeanor from our first meeting. I calmly greeted them. Oh, what brings you here so suddenly? I have some errands, and I'll be back late. Anthony's on a business trip overseas, and you're the only one I can rely on? It's fine, but... Really? Thank you so much. Sure, but what's this errand about? Oh, never mind the details. Thanks. I really appreciate it. She handed over the two kids at the front door and left quickly without looking back. What could be so important that she had to leave Lizzie, busy with her studies, and Ariel, still an elementary school student? Despite my doubts about Jody's attitude, I was overjoyed to see my grandkids. "Come in, please." "We will, thank you." They entered the house with a familiarity that seemed both shy and practiced. I found it amusing thinking, is this what being a teenager is like? After that day, Thumbing started leaving them with me more often. I'm busy with work, or I want to go for a spa and nails. She had various excuses. At first, I was happy to see my grandkids, but gradually, I grew suspicious of Jody's behavior. I had this nagging feeling that she didn't have much affection for the two kids. Rather, it seemed like she resented them for being the children of my son's previous wife. It was like she was neglecting her role as a mom. I kept these thoughts to myself in front of the kids. This Ariel, who lost his real mom at 2, had little memory of her. Regardless of how she was, Jody was their mom now. But her problematic behavior continued, trying to act like a responsible mom in front of them while neglecting them in her actions. Don't give them sweets without asking.
This is Dadable Farm. Don't give them sweets without asking me. What if they get foul, cabbage? Games only after homework? I'm not asking you to set a time limit.
I followed her instructions to the letter. Yet it seemed it became her outlet for stress, often getting scolded even when I did everything right. As with her husband overseas and his kids from a previous marriage in front of her. Jody seemed increasingly irritated by the reality that diverged from her imagined married life. Recently, I've been feeling something was off. It was the way the neighbors looked at me. Previously, they would respond to my greetings, but now no one did. They seemed to avoid me, talking in hushed tones. I wasn't invited to the neighborhood association meetings anymore. When I finally cornered a neighbor and asked, she tearfully said she makes elaborate meals for the kids, as if to show it off to me. It's like she's saying I'm a bad cook. It was clear Jody had been spreading rumors about me. Apparently, I was labeled as the mean mother-in-law tormenting her daughter-in-law. And then the incident happened.
Villa, yeah, I need to talk to you.
Jody said with an unusually formal tone. A bad feeling washed over me. "What is it?" I asked, giving her a cold look.
I heard you've been speaking ill of me. The neighbors told me.
"Don't. You're spreading all kinds of lies of me. Do you enjoy bullying people that much? The one spreading lies is you. Do you realize how the neighbors are looking at me because of you?"
Do you have any proof that I spread those rumors? If you do, please show me.
You don't have proof either. I'm isolated in this town because of you. It's impossible for me to be slandering you. I didn't miss the smirk that appeared on Jody's face.
I do have proof. I recorded the neighbors when I talked to them.
My anger was about to explode at Jody's over-preparedness.
Then what are you gonna do now? Oh, so you've made it hard for me to visit my own home. Oh, this is defamation, you know? Will you pay me damages? You wouldn't want your cute grandkids to find out about this, right?
I realized that Jody hadn't just been leaving the kids with me because she wanted to have fun. She was blending in with the neighbors to isolate me. This was her plan from the start. Images of my dear grandkids flashed in my mind, but I couldn't just give in to her evil. Unfortunately, I don't have that kind of money to pay you.
What about toy savings, the $100 go?
That was for the grandkids. He didn't save it for you.
Her malicious smile returned.
Layla, thank you. Got exactly what I wanted from you.
What do you mean?
I just wanted to hear you say it. I told her I saved the money for the grandkids. To some their mom, naturally, that money should come to me.
Jody was more cunning than I thought, always scheming how to get money from me. Her beauty and brains were real. I couldn't say anything in response and just sat down.
Actually, Jody says, so you know, I've already withdrawn the $100 left.
Everything's over now. I sat engulfed in sadness.
Then an unexpected person emerged from the shadows, wiping away my tears. I decided to take revenge on Jody with this person. I immediately contacted a real estate agent. Yes, I decided to sell the family home. I'd always felt that living alone in such a big house was too much and too lonely. It was filled with memories of my husband, and while it was hard to let go, leaving it vacant was risky. After much thought, I decided to sell it. Thanks to my husband's diligent upkeep, a buyer appeared in less than 6 months, offering an unexpected amount. But if it was to be renovated into a trendy cafe, as for me, I moved to a cozy house in the suburbs. Even though Jody took the $100 that I had my own savings. I would enjoy a leisurely and free retirement.
Now everything is ready, just waiting for the next move.
I waited, feeling uneasy for that moment to come. The 3 months had passed since Jody took the $100 and disappeared. Sooner than I expected, the moment arrived. One day, I received a call from an unfamiliar number. I didn't recognize it, but had a hunch and answered without hesitation.
Hey Lou, long time. No see, how are you?
Her voice was cheerful, but there was an unmistakable air of nonchalance about it. It was definitely Jody.
Where are you right now?
I asked, trying to sound calm and not give away my plan.
Are you mad? Oh, of course you would be, right?
Of course, after what you did.
I need to talk to you, because I need to talk to you. Can we meet now?
I recognized the line. It was something I had heard before.
Alright, I'll come now. Tell me where to meet you.
I quickly got ready and headed to the cafe she specified. Upon arrival at the cafe, it seemed Jody hadn't arrived yet, so I decided to go in first. 10 minutes later, Jody finally appeared. But beside her was my granddaughter. Lacey, Buddy unapologetically took a seat right in front of me. Once we finished ordering, Jody started to speak.
To be honest, we're thinking of living in the family home.
What are you talking about all of a sudden? Equality or insecurity you with that $100,000 you took. There's no need for you to live together.
It's bad to say I took it without permission. True, with $100,000 we would be fine for now.
Then why?
Recently the kids have been so rebellious, especially Lizzie throwing tantrums. So I honestly overwhelmed and struggling. I'm not really good with kids, you know. You can say that in front of Lizzie. It's true. Besides, Layla, you're getting older, and I think Anthony would feel more secure if we lived together. Well, lies and fun, so I'll live with you. Just take care of the grandkids' showers and meals.
I could only sigh at Jody's seemingly plausible reasons. Looking down, I hid a smile of victory beneath my face. It was time for my revenge to begin.
What? The family home is gone.
What do you mean?
I sold it recently. I sold it for a good price too.
Hey, you know, sounds, wait. That's gonna be a problem.
Ignoring Jody's panic, I continued,
I'm a problem. Why?
As the other woman squandered the $100,000, right?
There were people. Lizzie,
Jody was visibly shaken by Lizzie's shocking revelation.
Jody, with your noticeable appearance, it was easy to find quite a bit about you on social media. Seems like you've been living it up.
What Lizzie showed me was Jody's social media. The photos of her driving a convertible, toasting in front of champagne towers, all with different men. I was astonished.
You seem to be having a lot of fun. I suspected something when you started leaving the kids with me. Going to nightclubs. I see.
it's not like that. So, there's a deep reason behind it. I was lonely without Anthony's stress from unfamiliar parenting.
Your husband and his children are no excuse.
I chided her.
But if we can't live in the family home, Lizzie will suffer, right?
I know. I've decided to attend a boarding high school.
Thanks. You'd never mention that.
If I did, would you have listened? That's why I didn't tell you. Mike, I would deem it like...
How will you pay for boarding school tuition and fees?
No need to worry about that. I've decided to take care of it. Next, meanwhile, Jody must have realized.
She trembled. You two were in on this together, weren't you? As to what to trap me.
We didn't trap you. My dear granddaughter just asked to live with her grandmother, and I decided to help. It was Lizzie who appeared before me on the day Jody fled with the $100,000.
Oh, Grandma,
What is it? Lizzie?
I have a test coming up. I thought I'd study. Hey, I overheard your conversation.
Why are you apologizing? Lizzie? It's Grandma's fault for being foolish.
Though, Grandma, you're not at fault. It's Jodia.
I was surprised to hear Lizzie, usually so quiet and composed, raise her voice. After a moment, she calmed down and continued.
And glaring. I want to live here.
What? Why so suddenly?
It's not sudden. I've been thinking about it for a long time. Ever since Dad married Jody.
Is that so?
At first, I thought if Dad was happy and Ariel had a mom, it'd be okay. But Jody acts like she doesn't care about us.
She must have been holding back her feelings. The tears started to fall from Lizzie's eyes.
I was actually really happy when we started staying here. I like spending time with you and our Ariel, just like when we were little. If it's not too much trouble.
I'm very happy to hear that. I love you both, and would like to live together if I can.
Please.
I'm not sure I can take care of you both until you're adults. Lizzie's face fell, seeing her so distressed. I couldn't leave her be. I want to help you. Lizzie, let's find a good way together.
Thank you, Grandma. I too want to help you too.
Thanks.
About the $100,000 Jody took. We'll definitely get it back.
This marked the beginning of secret strategy meetings between Lizzie and me. Taking care of both grandkids daily would be too much.
How about staying in dorm on with dorm weekdays and at home on weekends and long holidays? Oh, this way, it won't be too much for your grandma.
She suggested. As for Ariel, he would eventually join Lizzie at the same school's middle school division.
I would go to the same school as my sister. He insisted.
But the middle school didn't have a dorm, so he would live at home until high school. There were two issues. First, did I have enough funds to send them both to boarding school? Second, Jody wanting to care for the kids was the trigger. The former seemed manageable with my savings and selling the family home. Lizzie seemed discontented at first, questioning, do we really need to sell this house too? But when I explained it's better this way, we'll move to an area closer to your schools for easier commuting, she understood and agreed. And for the latter, I have a plan, I told Lizzie and left it to her. 3 months later, Jody contacted us, leading to the current situation. Taking care of them with just my savings and pension is a bit much. I looked at Lizzie. She nodded slightly, understanding my intention. We should just get Jody to return the $100,000. It was originally saved by Grandpa for us. That's true. Let's get that $100,000 back from her. Jody wouldn't want her company to find out about this, right? If she returns it quietly, we won't make a big deal. It's with us pressing. Jody, clearly at a disadvantage, stammered, I have something to do. Even now, she tried to lie her way out. Just wait a bit longer. He should be here soon. Oh, here he comes. Dad. Jody turned pale as she saw my son Anthony at the cafe entrance. Anthony, why are you here? When did you come back?
Glad that matters. Lizzie told me everything. She played the good mom in front of me while fooling around with other men.
What my son presented was a divorce application. A joke, right? I admit my mistakes. I'm sorry.
No joke. I'm serious. This isn't something an apology can fix.
Lizzie probably had never seen her dad so angry before. She shrank back from his intensity. It was a first for me too, so it was only natural. This meant my son was truly furious. How can I live now? No house. I have to pay back the $100,000, and now Anthony is divorcing me? But to Jody's desperate plea, my son coldly replied, it's your fault. Deal with it yourself. From now on, we're strangers, and don't ever meet the kids again.
Jody treated like something filthy, broke down crying on the spot. Girl, that was that regard for anyone around her.
Eddie was in a daze for a while, but eventually resigned, signed the divorce papers, and left the cafe.
Oh, Mom, Lizzie. So, I'm really sorry. I've been all about work, leaving everything to Jody. I had no idea it'd come to this.
My son was genuinely remorseful.
It's okay. Alexander, it's all over now. I tried to console him.
No, I'm terrible, Dad. I'm thinking of changing jobs, one without travel. I would spend more time with my family now.
My son surprised us with his declaration.
I was not terrible. Some were shiving out in that dad's not terrible. Ariel and I know how hard you work for us.
Lizzie said earnestly. But children see more of their parents than they realize.
And Dad, I want to work in different countries like you in the future. That's why I chose a school that focuses on language education.
That's the first I've heard of it. Lizzie's face was full of resolve. Let's celebrate in advance for Lizzie's entrance exam success. Let's reorder since the food has gone cold. Bring Ariel in too. He must be hungry waiting in the car. Much as if the earlier commotion was a lie, we enjoyed a family meal for the first time in a long while. 6 months after the uproar, Lizzie successfully passed her high school entrance exam. Just on weekends, she visits home and shares stories about her friends and club activities. Her school life seems fulfilling, as Ariel is studying hard for his middle school entrance exam. I've been busy attending parent-teacher meetings and providing transport to tutoring sessions. And from what my son told me, Jody was fired from her company. Apparently, she had not settled her unpaid bills from her nights out at the club, causing the owner to visit her workplace, quickly spreading the gossip. But now she is to work tirelessly to repay both us and her outstanding debts. By the way, Lizzie, what did you do? I finally asked her about her plan.
What do you mean? You said you had a plan?
I finally asked about her plan.
Oh, that. How Jody said I throw tantrums.
Yes.
I did like a typical rebellious teenager, screaming, "Shut up." And leave me alone, rampaging around the house, even broke the TV screen.
Really? That's hard to imagine coming from you.
Our actions, and was told back down on had to see it through since I suggested it.
I don't think it was tough acting, but I had to see it through since I suggested it.
You're strong-willed like your mom.
That makes me happy.
We shared a peaceful laugh together.